Hey y'all, my name is Travis and welcome to Travis Brick's YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about a rabbit hole that I never wanted to go down, but always planned to go down, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And that is lighting. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have started down the lighting rabbit hole. So we're going to talk about kind of the why I did, um, and kind of some of the steps that I've already planned or already have done in the planning in case if I ever fell down this rabbit hole. Um, and a little bit about the things that I've done and the kits that I've picked. And I'm going to try to show you lighting up. I got this one here. This is for the Palace Cinema. I already have lit the Parisian Restaurant. I did that last night, just as kind of like a trial run to kind of figure out if I knew what I was actually doing. And I do. I watched a whole lot of videos, a ridiculous amount of videos to pick what was the best company to go with, the tips and tricks that I needed to make sure I did. All of those types of things. I spent a lot of time watching videos. Um, so I went with Game of Bricks, mostly because of price and because of a lot of people were very highly flattering of them and their kits, and they seemed like they had good instructions. And I bought these three. So I bought the Parisian, I bought the Cinema, and I bought one for the Jazz Club. Um, and I bought them on their Black Friday sale, which was like 40% off. Um, so it seemed like a pretty good deal at the time. They always seem to be kind of running some sort of deal as well. Um, so I thought that was a good one to at least try, because at worst I spent, a little bit of money and decided not to do it. It seemed like the right investment price point to give this a shot. And kind of as far as the overview of kind of what I'm going to do as far as lighting goes, I'm going to start lighting this section that you see right here behind me, which is my entertainment and governing district. So I think there's 11 buildings in there. I have bought kits for three of them so far, and most of them are official Lego sets. So there should be pre-built kits available for them so that I don't have to figure out how to do lighting. And then there are two, no, there's three um re really like breakable models in that section of the city. So I'll have to figure out how to do custom lighting for three of them, and they're all kind of varying difficulty, I think. So um, I think that will give me a good kind of blueprint to move forward with. So that's kind of my overview of my lighting plan. Let's take a look at some of the things that I've done in the city to make this a little bit easier on myself. And then we'll jump into adding this to the cinema. Okay, so first I thought we kind of go through what the contents are of the box. So obviously, so this is unique to the Palace Cinema. So we have the two searchlights that go outside the Palace Cinema. Those are in a separate bag there. Power box, which we're gonna change eventually later. And then these really cool number bag. There's the hard to see. There's the I guess I can go over here too. Here's the street light, and then all of these. This is the final. This is the 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 place where all the singular lines come in to connect. And then this is for the front. Oh, this is for the front of the cinema. It's already pre-built for me, which is awesome. So the way this works is you scan the directions. It takes you to the website, and then you follow the directions or the pictures really that are on the website. And the pictures are actually really pretty good. The thing I noticed with the Parisians, I haven't looked too closely at this one, is that they actually used a knockoff version of bricks to build the Parisian, because there was no Lego logos on any of the bricks in the pictures. So that's to say that the quality of bricks that they're using, or the quality of pictures that they're using, is clear enough that I can see that there was no Lego logos on them. It does come with a user manual, but this is really more of a just kind of what's included or what the individual pieces are. And it has a couple of different little tips and stuff, but really this has absolutely nothing to do with actually installing the kit. Okay, so I'm going to actually skip over bag 1 because bag 1 is actually putting the lights into the car. And unfortunately in my city, the car cannot be anywhere near where the cinema actually sits. So we're going to skip that bag and we're going on to bag 2. And bag 2 is the is doing the front facade or the front marquee. So we're going to pull out the parts here. You got a little LED board. You got your little combiner, and then some very thin cables. These cables are so thin. You have to be real careful with them, especially when you're putting them between bricks. You have to be careful not to basically shear the cables. You can, if you are putting a cable through 2 bricks, you need to kind of put the cable through first and then put this side down and then sit it down. Because if you just go straight down, that's basically like scissors, and it'll just cut straight through the cable. And apparently these cables are pretty high quality or high grade cables, so like tension and stuff is not going to break them, but that shearing force will just cut right through them. So I have not done it yet, knock on wood. But supposedly that's like the absolute worst thing that you can do. So as I'm kind of sorting this out, because there's apparently a couple of cables wrapped up in here, so I need to kind of get this unraveled. Trying to be careful, but yeah, apparently these are like aircraft grade cables or something. So you know, I figured they're good enough for an aircraft, they should be good enough for bricks, right? Okay, so there's 2 extensions. There are, looks like 4 individual LEDs here. Yep. Just gonna break them apart a little bit. Okay. And just for a sense of how thin this wire is, where's the camera? There it is. This connector, there we go, focus. This connector will actually go through the snot holes. So that's literally how small these connectors are. I'm going to put these off to the side. Okay. Next. Hopefully you can kind of see this back here. Maybe a little bit. Okay. It wants me to disconnect this. The directions are really very finely detailed. So I will speak highly of the directions because for just pictures, they're pretty fantastic. Come on. I actually kind of enjoy taking the sets kind of partially apart to get the things back in. I don't know why. Maybe that's kind of a sick, twisted thing, but I kind of enjoy it. So I gotta take all these off because we're gonna replace them with these. And so on this, it's having me do this, and I'm going to try something maybe crazy. I'm gonna pull these off, and so you can see inside the LEDs are soldered directly onto a little board, and the board's just kind of sitting in there. So what I'm gonna do, maybe this is crazy. Because I'm going to take this all apart and put the whole thing right down in here. Okay, so there we go. I pulled the yellow pieces off the back, even though it said on the directions to leave them. I pulled those off because I had already kind of looked at this before. That there was room to just stick them right squarely down on it. So I, in fact, went ahead and did that. And it keeps that same look as the original. Whereas this one, it had an added yellow plate down along there, which I wouldn't have minded if I could have had a gold plate, but they don't make, as far as I know, they don't make gold plates like that. So I think that looks a little bit better. All right, let's see what's next. All right, and then oh yeah, so if you look in, and maybe I'll drop this in post. You can see that they did not use official Lego bricks for this video either. Okay, so they pulled these off. And they went through this side. And as you can see, the wires just slip right through because they're just so skinny. And just carefully put those back over. Okay, so little wire went right through the hole, came out the side, which this is a custom made brick. Went out the side, underneath the tiles, through the little hole there, and then wire hangs out the bottom. Alright, now we gotta do some major deconstruction here. Okay, pulling that piece off. Ooh, then we're going to pull all the top pieces. I found also that you don't always have to take the exact path that they want you to. And so, you know, sometimes I do these and then I realize that I want to do it a little differently and go back and redo it in a maybe more ergonomical sense. Okay. So we're adding lights, I guess, to these. Oh, see? Okay, so this might be an issue with them using not official Lego bricks. So I built this set from sealed box. Okay, so I know that these are the official bricks that Lego comes with. And in the Game of Bricks directions, they have headlight bricks there. And in the actual set, these are not headlight bricks. So I'm going to need to see if I can find, if I got black headlight bricks in my parts. So let me take a quick look at that. Okay, so I in fact did have black headlight bricks in stock. And I don't mind that that's a thing. I just would have liked to have known that so I could verify that I had parts. You know, I mean, I have a lot of bulk brick that I keep and store and sort. So that was fine for me, but I could imagine someone that might not have that type of thing, which even I didn't have that type of thing until somewhat recently in my Lego journey. I can see that being a real issue for some people. The other thing I learned from the Parisian is to make sure that your LEDs are facing out, or, you know, facing not backwards. I put a couple into the Parisian backwards, and had to take it all back apart and fix them because I wasn't paying attention to that. So, learn from my mistakes. Okay, so there's one set, and because I actually thought that the LEDs were broken or I didn't get them wired right or something like that, and it was just the fact that they would turn backwards. So just gotta be careful with that. It looks like the LEDs could also maybe slip through the hole if you aren't careful. They're like just the right size. So, you know, that's for reference if you need to know how small the LEDs are. They're about the same size as one of the snot holes. So, okay. So we got them all wired up. Good, good, good. Okay. It's having me pull this part off. It's good to have a brick separator nearby because, man, I had to use all kinds of brick separation tools to try to get some of the Parisian pieces apart so that I didn't destroy everything. Okay. And it wants me to do... See, the other thing that I could do, and I very well might. What size brick is that? So, to help kind of get some of these through, you can also swap out for Technic brick. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to swap this 1x4 out for these guys so that I can easily pass the wire through and not worry about it. That hurts my completionist brain just a little bit because now I know like the set's not factory. But if it means that I'm not going to burn my house down, that's also kind of good too. You know, or have to take this all back apart to fix wires. You know, that's all. That's worth a little bit of brain annoyance to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, which I just did. You can see now I swapped that out, just a 1-for-1 swap, so that I can just send these right on through and not worry about any of it. Okay, cool. And actually, because of the way that this works, you can see if it'll focus. Let's see if it'll focus. Come on. There's actually a gap right there. You can see because the red 1x1 round doesn't go all the way to the white. So actually, the wires pass through right there, and there's no tension on them at all, which is awesome. Or no possible chance of shearing, which is awesome. Okay, and they have me doing this and kind of twisting them all together. I see it's going to. Oh, got something else sitting here. Okay. I'm imagining this is going on the bottom. I will say one of the things that scared me the most when I started doing this was getting these little tiny connectors to actually seat all the way, because I felt like I was almost pinching the cable, and obviously that's the one thing that like everyone says do not do. In fact, at the top of the directions on the internet, it says be very careful about shearing, you know, and so trying to push them in with my thumb or with my nail almost seems like a shearing thing, so it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But so far so good. Okay. And I gotta plug all these stupid things in. Whew, they're so small. So I think of these little like circuit boards as like power strips, basically. They plug all in. There's usually in some way out of them, but they're all just kind of connecting it all together. Because I assume that this is going to be the lead going back to the main power hub. But you know, you need to connect all these so you're not having all these individual lines running all the way back. You know. Okay, so you can see that that's all kind of stuck all down in there, and I realized I just put it on backwards. So we're going to redo this. And so sometimes it just happens like that. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm going to put this side down. Try to get this all smashed up in there. There we go. Alright. So there we go. All installed. Just gotta cover all this back up. Oop. Front part goes on first. Alright, and there's the extra pieces that I pulled out. Okay. I'm going to stop there for a little bit because there's another side project that I'm going to work on this PAL Cinema with, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, so I've taken this all apart. And so the one thing I want you to notice is, first off, as you know, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I do everything on a Mills plate. And that's probably step one in the things that I did proactively about preparing for lighting, was that I built everything on Mills plate so that you can run and hide wires beneath the plates and all that. You don't got to worry about doing all those types of things. So the one thing that I didn't think about early on is, so this was one of the first modulars that I did, and it has this iconic red base plate. Okay, so that in theory the inside should have been red, but as you can see, it's not. It is gray because that's what I plated it with. And you can also see some other colors sticking out between the grates. So I always said, it doesn't matter because I'm never going to see the inside. However, with adding lights, you now see the insides of the buildings. And so I'm going to fix this. I don't know if I'm going to do all of this on camera, just because it's going to take me a little bit to get it all plated out and all that type of stuff. But the couple things I do want to show you is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the plate from the brick. And that way I can easily swap out bits and pieces without having to completely redo the whole thing. With this one, though, I may just pull the whole thing right up off of it because it's actually not a whole lot of interior details. If there was a bunch of tiling and a bunch of details, think Boutique Hotel or even the Jazz Club or any of the newer modulars that have a lot of interior details that are attached to that bottom plate, I might consider just only splitting it from the bottom, but I might actually pick this one up off of the base plate and work on it that way. Not too sure what I'll do here, but the other thing I'm going to do is I will leave probably in this back corner, which I've looked on the directions, where I need to place the main power input. And on these, by default, they have them going up the top and just the cable running down the back side of it. And I don't want to do that, okay? I just have no desire to have cables running down the back, especially because I do have mills plates, so there's room underneath for it to be there. So when I take this apart, I'm going to swap out probably this corner plate with a plate that has holes in it. So like a Technic plate. Let me see if I can find one quick. So I will swap it out with a plate like this so that I can run the wires right through the hole and don't have to worry about it getting pinched or anything. And then I'll tile around it. I might do a couple different ways to tile around it, which I'll show you when I get done. But first things first, I'm going to probably split this off the bottom here and just hope for the best. Usually, if you start with the bottom plate and just kind of slowly peel. Perfect. So there's your red base plate. Peeled perfectly. They don't always peel this perfect. Just FYI. I got very lucky. The one thing I also do is if it is a unique base plate, so like this is a very unique base plate. This might be the only set that comes with this red base plate. I try to keep the base plate with the bottom of the mills plate so that if I ever wanted to get rid of the set, it is actually authentic to the set, you know. Okay, so first things first, I want to fix this outer row here. Oh, I'm going to change a bunch of retiling. I don't like that. This is not going to be fun, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. This is not going to be fun. I'm probably going to end up basically retiling this whole thing. So that's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun. So if you can see on this, and I'll show you the bottom side of this, you can see that I used bigger plates on the outside. I have no idea why, but I did. So I'm gonna have to retile almost the entire sidewalk because the whole sidewalk is on the outer big plates. So that kind of sucks. I think I'm going to stop the video and do that so that if I swear and cuss and do all those things, it's not on the video. So I'll be back in a little bit after this is sorted out. Okay, so I got this all retiled, and you can see, I put a Technic plate under there. There's a Technic plate under there as well so that I can get the wire through for the light. And I redid this. I did the same thing over here. And the reason, oh, you can't see that. Same thing over here. And the reason I put Technic plates under here is because that's where these guys go. So I'm going to run the wires underneath so that I can hide the wires for that as well. So I still need to swap out this corner plate so that I can get the lead wire up through. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to carefully remove the bricks off this bottom part, and I've actually been reclaiming these white bricks because this was very early on in my time and white bricks didn't matter to me. Now white bricks do matter to me, and I need them for my winter village. So okay, I just popped this straight off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 4 gray plates to replace them with. And actually, really, this corner plate is not going to be a gray plate, but it'll be okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'll fix my plate missing in the corner in a minute. I'm going to transfer this. And actually, it's this plate that I need to replace. So we're going to do that in a second. Go ahead and transfer these real quick. I like to keep the plates laying in the order they need to be in. Yep. And so, I need to flip that over. Add another plate here. And that there. Okay. And this guy can go right there to finish that out. And then just gotta transfer this other one yet. Then transfer this back. And then just got to figure out where all these other things need to go back to. Like that, like that, and like that. And actually, I don't need this one here. This one here. Alright, and then I'm just going to press these back on up in there. When you're dealing with the floor parts, you have to be very careful to keep back pressure. Otherwise, next thing you know, you'll be redoing a whole bunch of stuff if you don't keep some back pressure on there. Okay, so I got my plate installed for my cable to come in, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that now, just to make life a little bit easier later on. Stick this off to the side. Oop. This. That's a little crazy. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Come on. Okay. Almost got it. Oop. Don't want to knot it. No knots allowed. Alright, almost there. Almost there. Alright, there we go. Alright, and I'm going to run this on up through here in the corner. Because that's exactly what I was afraid of. Connector's just a little too big to fit through there. Carefully pry that off. Now they'll fit right through. And I can reattach that, and then we're good to go. We are rocking and rolling. I actually need one more 1x2 to make sure that both sides of that plates are supported, and we're good to go. Just gotta be careful this doesn't get smashed. Actually, this will go off the back side. Oh, this is the back side. Alright, let's get this back on here. And figure out which way this thing's gonna go. I felt a 1x2. Oh, no, okay. Oop. Gotta be careful that the 1x2 doesn't smash that. Alright, and then I'm just gonna press down. I usually do the outsides first and then press down a little bit on the inside, but a lot of times the inside kind of follows the outside for the most part. Okay, so I got my main lead in there now, which is awesome because that's one less thing to do later. And now I'm going to tile the whole inside of this, and I'm going to not do that on camera because it's going to take me a little bit to figure out. I've been collecting dark red tiles for a while. I think dark red's going to look super good in here. So I'm excited to see what this looks like.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I got the floor tile. I decided not to do all dark red, mostly because I didn't have quite enough tiles. And dark red is first kind of hard to come by. It's a little bit expensive and tends to break. So I thought the nice checkered pattern that kind of incorporated the wall color and the tile color on the outside here was appropriate and looked good. So that's done. While I did that, I also got my lead wire in there as well and tiled around that. I did a corner round in the very corner so that there is zero tension on this wire. I can literally move it in and out without any problems because actually I can still kind of see the hole. So that was cool and useful. And so we're gonna move on to doing some more lights. We're on bag 3, which has a whole lot of lights in it. I assume it's these wall lights, these outside lights, at the very least. So let's go on. I did have to go all the way to the end to figure out where my main lead needed to come in. So that was a little bit annoying, but I had to do that on the other one too. But it's all fine. I figured it out, and you know, here we are. So there's a ton of wire in here. Looks like there's a couple of what I call jumpers, and quite a few individual LEDs all kind of twisted up together. I wish that they didn't do it this way. This is really kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. But it's not too bad to take care of. Okay, there's a jumper. There's another jumper and another jumper. So there should be 3 jumpers. Come on. Okay, here's 2 individual LEDs that have pretty long wires on them. Ooh, there's a knot in there. Maybe. Is that a knot? No, just a kink. Okay. Let's get these kind of straightened out here. So there's 2 long ones. Here's a bunch that are the same length. Is that what? It's like 5 the same length. Yeah. And 2 little LED panels and a strip. Power strip. Cool. Okay, so right away, I need to take what looks like the short jumper to go between. Alright, and then it looks like this is the medium size one. Okay, I'm changing up the directions just a little bit because I feel like it's going to be beneficial for me to put the long one so I can maybe land this thing. No, I guess I don't. I guess I can't do that because it's going to have to land somewhere over here because of all these. Well, oh well. Okay, so bag 3 done. Let's put that off to the side. What's next? Let's see here. Let's see a bag 4. What's bag 4? Oh, bag 4 is the street light. Okay, so the street light we talked about is going to hopefully be able to make its way into the place that I want it to be. So we'll find out here shortly if that's going to be a possibility or not. Okay, so I just gotta get this inside the building. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to fish it up through the same hole that the main power cord comes through, and hopefully we'll have enough length to make it over to the circuit board. And actually, I'm going to do this again. Oh my gosh, there's just barely enough room. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna split it because the wall piece. There's enough room once I get the connector by. But the wall piece just blocks it just enough. There we go. All right, awesome. Plenty of wire on there. Okay, let me get this resituated there. Get this back on here. This back on here. And let's get this actually secured on here. That's what I want. I'm going to use just a little plate to kind of hold that on up in there. Just to hold it in place so it doesn't fall down when I sit this back down. Oh, dang it. Put that over here. Oh, I guess I should have left that off because I'm going to have to route the lights through the bottom as well, but it'll be right for right now. Okay, was I supposed to... Didn't say attach that, so we're going to assume that I don't attach that right now, and we're moving on. Alright, bag 5, here we go. Okay, so on here, I actually put this brick in. It didn't say to take that off, but I put that brick in to kind of wedge that wire in there because I could not get it in any other way. So I wish they would have shown that, but it's okay. We got it figured out, and moving on to the next step. It's also just a really tight piece to get taken off of there too, so makes sense. Alright, so hopefully I didn't totally screw those up in trying to get that wire through there. That was rough. That was the first time I really felt frustrated about a wire placement. And it wasn't even the wire placement, it was actually the connectors were sticking out just a little too far, and it just made it for a real pain. So I really hope that those all still work. Okay, so I paused it for a minute to kind of have a quick thought here because I needed to figure out these guys. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to situate them both on kind of the front corners here. So I'm going to move some plate around and do some rewiring just to kind of, I think that just kind of makes the most sense. So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Um, Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna tidy this up because this looks like hell. Stick that right there, I think. I had a little bit longer fingernails. This would also be a whole lot easier too. All right, and let's get this closed up and finished up here. Okay, so moment of truth here. Let's got some tile work to finish up. Oh, Harley decided to come say hi. Hi, Harley. Okay, so let's turn this way so you can see it in this camera over here. All right, let's see how we did. Woo! All right. Well, that's fun. That's super fun. So cool. All right, let me get this finished up, and I'll get this placed in the city, and then we will take another quick little look at things here. All right, so here's the Parisian all lit up, and the cinema. This is gonna look really cool. I was a little concerned when I turned it on with all the strobing RGB stuff, but I think for this being the like entertainment district, I think it's gonna look super cool. I think the jazz club has some similar elements to it, so I'm pretty excited about that. These I left a whole lot of slack on, so I can really move them around. Maybe once my sidewalk is out here, maybe I'll pull them out further into the sidewalk. Maybe I'll move them kind of both out in this area. Maybe I don't know, but I'm super excited about that. That's super cool. I love that the lights on the thing kind of strobe up and down. That's all just super fun. And then as you get down here to Restaurant Row, you have a little bit more of a normal type of situation here with the Parisian. But very cool. You can see all the way around the back. There's some lights on the back side as well, lighting up the back. So that's super cool. I am pretty excited about where this is going. And you can't even really see too many wires. I mean, I guess with the lights on, maybe like there's a wire across the bottom. There's some wires there, but I think a little bit of fixing up, I could even get rid of some more of those even. And even on this, there's a wire there. Obviously the wire is there, but I'm still kind of debating what to do about that. But other than that, a little bit of wire there, but it doesn't really, I mean, when you're standing back looking at it, you can't really tell any of that. So I'm pretty excited about that. Of all the things that I'm really excited about is the fact that you'll be able to see into the modulars now. So it's actually worth all the time you put into the interiors and putting minifigs inside and all that type. So now the rest of the city looks really dark compared to the entertainment district. So let's quick talk about a couple things moving forward that I've already kind of done and in preparation for this, and kind of where we're at with some other things. Okay, so I've already talked about the mill situation, and one of my primary reasons for, not primary, but one of the reasons that I listed as to why I should do mills right from the get go of my city was that if I ever wanted to do lighting, I could at least easily run cables down through underneath. And as you saw with the Palace Cinema, that made hiding a whole bunch of cables way easier than, whoops, it's sticking up a little bit from when I split it. That made it way easier than from when if I needed to hide it under a bunch of tile and stuff, I don't have to rip up any tile. I can just run it right underneath, peeling that base plate off, being able to access all the bottoms makes this way easier. And so let's talk about power since we're on that side of things. Right now, the game of brick stuff comes with a battery pack, which is fine. But I don't want to go through and turn them all on. So at some point, I'm going to be running these all into a big USB hub, and probably doing some sort of automation, as in Wi-Fi switch or something. But so obviously, I can run this through the mills plates and back underneath. But then, obviously, I have a table. So how do I get through the table? Okay, so we're directly underneath where we just were. Hi, Harley. Hi, buddy. So we're directly underneath where we just were, and you can see I've actually done planks. So right here you can see that's actually the back of the mountain. So I can either do one of two things. I can either split it here, which is probably closer to the front side, and that's probably what I'll do, and drop the cable down through there. I can move that gap up forward. And that's probably what I'll do. And then I can plug them all into hub here underneath the table and run it all to a normal power cord and then call it a day rather than having a bunch of battery packs. And this is how I've done all of my tables. All of my tables have gaps on the bottom side so that I can drop cables or whatever down through. Some have bigger gaps than others, but they all have gaps somewhere, so that I can easily get some cables down through. Okay, so that was my not so quick little first adventure into lighting. Let's quick talk about kind of where this is going. So first, I need to get the jazz club. Ooh, jazz, trying to. Okay, anyways, the jazz club needs to get lit. Um, I have that. So that will need to get done. This one seems a little more complicated. There's there's a remote involved. Anyways, so this one needs to get done. And then I need to get the power situation figured out. And then next up is I'm going to light this part of the city that you see behind me. That's kind of the entertainment district slash governance district. And there's 11 modulars in there, or there's 11 buildings in there, I should say. Um, I think 8 of which are Lego official sets, and so therefore they should have kits available for them. Um, so that way I can kind of still get some more feel for how to do kind of lighting, what kind of pieces I need. And then the couple of rebrickable models that I have in that part of the city will definitely kind of give me a good taste of what I will need to be doing moving forward if I go to add more lights elsewhere to other things, to my own mocks, even when I get to that point. So that's kind of where this is headed. And it will be kind of a slow go. Right now, this is December 9th that I'm shooting this. I'm kind of in a little bit of a regrouping phase in the Lego room. Try and get some things cleaned up, organized, and get some projects kind of finished up and kind of hammer down some lists of some things that I need. I've been kind of buying pieces in bulk, just hoping that it would be what I actually need to do a project, and that just has not worked out for me. So I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a step back, get some pieces lined up, figure out what parts and pieces I need, maybe place a couple of those orders, but mostly just kind of get projects a little further down the road. I also have a backlog that I need to work through. I have a couple other kind of things that I want to get done here in the leg room before I start to really move forward with some things. So we're gonna kind of pause a little bit here with some of the projects in the Lego room, but a lot are going to be moving forward kind of incrementally over the next couple weeks and into the a little bit of the first of the new year. Um, and definitely we're going to be moving forward with this lighting thing because this lighting thing's really cool. I'm pretty excited about where this is going. A lot of the people that I take my city inspiration from have lighting um, in their cities. So I think that that kind of has spurred me into that momentum. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. If there's something you want me to go back and explain more or talk about, please, please, please let me know. And as always, make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. That really helps me out and helps me grow the channel. We are slowly progressing towards 200 sub subscribers, so that's really exciting. And I want to see if we can get there in the next couple weeks. Um, but we're just moving forward slowly, so make sure you like and subscribe, and share this with some with with some friends, and also check out my Instagram. I post a lot more kind of steps and other pictures of projects, packages I get, those types of things. My dog appears occasionally on the Instagram. So make sure you also check me out there, which is the exact same handle as here. And thanks for watching.